policy together or setting up that.
You know, this has gone on too long. This has gone on for 3 months. I don't think Cindy intentionally tried to lie, and I can see your point, but all in all, is it worth 3 months of arguing over? I mean, that's all this town does, is they're so divided, and it needs to stop. And I think it needs to be dropped, I really do.
The lying needs to stop.
There's no line.
I have a question. Hold on. I have the opportunity, I was gonna sit here quietly and take this, but I resent the fact that you're saying that I'm lying. First of all, I'm not lying. Second of all, Ms. Cohen, you misrepresented yourself at our last meeting when you sat here and said that the school district was gonna send a letter. That was in fact proven not to be
I
true.
knew that would come up because you were eavesdropping.
You said it publicly at the meeting.
No, I did not.
Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
I'll come up with you.
Let's assume I did. I'm not going to argue with you because I'm not doing anything. I have the facts here, and they are presented to the board, and whatever the board is supposed to do.
We're gonna move on, Michelle. I mean,
My first question was going to be then, did the township receive anything, as Ms. Cohen said at the last meeting? Did the township receive anything from the superintendent saying that this was not true?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Mrs. Cohen said at the last meeting that she talked to the superintendent and his secretary, and it's on video, on the township's website, that she talked to the superintendent that he was planning on, he either sent a letter or he was planning on sending a letter. Did you receive a letter?
No, and John, please feel free to jump in, but it was actually confirmed that the superintendent did not say that, nor did his secretary, Ms. Cohen, called and requested a letter. We're going to move on from this topic. We're going to move on from this topic.
There's a motion on the floor, don't you?
This is public comment, not time for motions. If you would like that to be on the agenda, we will add it to the agenda November 4th.
I would.
That's fine, no problem.
Give me a second.
I seconded already.
Can you say what you just said, please?
So, we're in the public comment section of this meeting, so that means it's time for the public to come up in an orderly fashion and give their public comment on township business. So that's the part of the meeting that we're in.
Or just say you reserve it for Eric afterward, because it's still a public meeting, it hasn't been closed yet, so don't get a chance.
Right now we're in public comment. If there's any lingering issues at the end of it, then the chairman can go through any lingering motions that the board may or may not have. But right now, we're in the public comment process, and we should proceed in an orderly manner. There's someone up here who wants to give a public comment.
Thank you. My next question is, at the last meeting, it was also referenced, I think it was either the last meeting or the meeting before, about a lawsuit that one supervisor had filed against 3 of you. Has that been resolved?
It was resolved this past week.
And can you tell me how that was resolved?
It was dismissed on preliminary objections, so it's no longer. Supervisors Fleer, Igizio, and I obtained counsel. We submitted, per the court request, we submitted objections to the case filing saying basically that what they were accusing us of didn't happen and wasn't true. Supervisor Cassiola nor his attorney showed up at our hearing on October 1st. The court called the attorney's office and asked where the attorney was, and he said he was not going to be attending. And we received on Thursday of last week the judge's decision. He was sustaining our preliminary objections and dropping the case.
So basically not guilty. Correct. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. I also have a question about the road changes to North DePauli Road. And kind of echoing what Supervisor Igizio said. I think that it's, considering that we had a public hearing, conditional use hearing for Range Resources where they were made very well aware of the conditions of that road prior to the approval of that hearing. Prior to the approval of that conditional use. I find it funny that the township's even considering paying for any changes to that road when they very clearly stated in that hearing that they would fix the road, update the road, take care of the road. We make the roads great. And I don't understand why this would even be a conversation that taxpayer money would go into that road.
I think that was Supervisor Igizio's point.
Yes.
And that's why we had asked Dan and Bill to go back to range and say, you know, this is what needs to be done, what are you willing to do?
I just think that you should dig a little deeper to their testimony in that hearing, because they testified to the fact that they would do anything to make that road the way it needed to be. So I would suggest you go back and hold them to their under oath testimony from that evening. My last question is, it was for Jack. Am I allowed to ask Jack any questions?
Why don't you address the board, and then if we need him to step in, he can.
I just wanted to say if we had any sort of idea on how much more this new website would cost in comparison to the old one. Is it a considerable amount, or is it?
No, it's really not. Go ahead, Jeff, you want to speak up? If you can, sorry.
Sorry. Currently, we're paying about $3,800 a year for what we have. It's a rudimentary, it's static at best. I can't do very much with it. As Supervisor Fisher and other supervisors and I have talked about, I've pushed it as far as it'll go. If I doubled it, which is what they want to do, they want to double what we're paying for, I'm still limited on what I can do. That'll take me up to 7,800, 7,600. In the first 3 years, the website will be 10,000, down to the fourth year, which drops all the way back to 4,000. So in essence, 5 years down the road, I'm going to be paying less for it than what we're paying for what we have right now. But the built-in cost spread over 3 years will give me the ramp-up charges, basically the programming charges to get where we want. So in the long run, we're saving money.
Yeah, it's a super cool program too. It gives us a lot of, Jack did a great job of researching this. It gives us a lot of opportunity. So
I just want to say thank you, because my biggest complaint with this township has always been the lack of communication, the lack of documentation, the lack of our being able to find out what's going on and when it's going on. So the fact that even if it doubles our cost, I don't think that I would be able to maybe double. I don't know how I would feel about it being double, but I would never object to it. I think that's an excellent way to spend our taxpayer money. So thank you for doing the research, and thank you for finding such a good program, because I think it's great.
My pleasure. I just wanted to say that, you know, what we have serves its purpose. I think it's time is coming to on, and I think it's time to step in the 21st century.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Kara Sheridan, 58 North DePaul. I just have one quick comment because it came up in today's meeting. Lots of us, well, first of all, I participated in the Comprehensive Planning Committee, and one of the biggest topics that came up was about transparency. And a lot of us have a lot of other demands on our time, and the way we make the decisions, many people make the decisions about whether or not to come to these meetings is by looking at the agenda. And the fact that things that obviously are very important concerns in this community, like the ABD property, are going to try to be snuck in at the last minute and not put on the agenda for people to come here and be concerned about is very, very concerning to me, and shows an apparent intent to be not transparent. So I think the last ABD property meeting, this entire room was full, and I think that as a general rule, I think that any concerns of any significance need to be put on the agenda ahead of time so that people can make decisions about whether they need to be here or not. Thank you.
And I'd like to make it abundantly clear that I control the agenda and then making sure that that stuff from last month gets added as needed, but I would never, and I have never, turned anyone down from adding something to the agenda. I feel like the public has a right to know, and it was a pet peeve of mine, not as chairman when you were turned down and then felt like you were having to surprise people, so there was the ability to get some of this stuff on the agenda. Any other questions, comments? This meeting is adjourned.
Joe's getting up. Joe's getting up.
Sorry, I'm adjourned for Mr. Latina. Sorry.
Then Cindy, I'd like to finish resolving that if I can.
I got two questions for Sean. Is there a way you can patrol a little bit more on 980 with the salt box trucks flying down the hill into McDonald?
Yeah, absolutely. We have one of our sergeants, I think some of the community kind of knows, if they call down or anytime, talk to you after the meeting.
Okay.
We do get out there as much as we can. We finally got the speed radar signs fixed, and thanks to Bill and his public works, we kind of Frankenstein both of them, to be honest with you, to save the township some money. They did a good job. We got them ready for the festival, so I'll get the signs out there and get the officers out there, and if there's a place to sit, we'll paint the lines and get the officers out there before some traffic.
Okay. My next question, do you know when they're gonna be doing the Boys Mayview construction?
They have not let us know, but maybe Dan or somebody, we know that. You don't know anything? Okay.
Last I read, it was in late 2020. That's the last I read on it.
Because I was just wondering if the detour is gonna be up Fawcett Church.
I thought we did talk about that, didn't
They
they?
did, and then, township manager Januso did set up some, counters and evaluate the traffic patterns there currently. Right.
Because they're speeding on that road now too.
Yeah,
If it's gonna be the detour, it's gonna be a lot worse.
Yeah, we're aware of that, absolutely.
Okay, that's all I got.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I'll pause for a second until it's on the agenda.
Could I address that? Just that maybe that would be the fix of having a motion to have any documents that are read from text messages or emails be put in the hard copy form and given to the township manager or assistant manager or solicitor. And I believe that may resolve the issue. That may stop. I'll put it in the motion form, yes.
Second that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No.
No. Are you serious? Why wouldn't you want to do that? I'm going to ask that every month for, okay, thank you. Why wouldn't you do that?
Chairman, why wouldn't you want to have the rest of the supervisors be informed as to what's being read at a public meeting?
We're not.
Why wouldn't you?
I was gonna
It's
say-
being sneaky is why. That's why.
Do you want me to answer, or do you want to?
Yeah, answer me, please.
It would be a nightmare of administration. That's what, passing stuff around.
So you want somebody to read a text, okay, that they got, and the rest of the supervisors are surprised, okay, and have no clue what's being read. And it would solve the problem that you're having right now.
You're advocating for exactly what I said, which is that things not come up as a surprise, that they be put on the agenda. I advocated for that, in fact, when Supervisor.
It doesn't have to be put on the agenda, it just has to be passed out to the supervisors, okay? That's all. And to the solicitor.
It has to be passed out to the public as well.
Well, that's possible too, but the supervisor should get it. If you're gonna read something off of the email, the rest of the supervisors should have it too. Okay? To me, that's being ignorant, stupid.
Okay, we're not in it. All right. Any other questions or comments? This meeting is adjourned.